What's up guys, it is StarFlorge here. Today I am bringing you a brand new assassin build, and this is something quite new. Now the build itself might not be exactly new, but maybe the playstyle I am bringing is, and I haven't seen anything quite like it just yet. There may be, I'm just saying that's what I personally haven't seen. And the aim of this is to literally stay in stealth. You kill one target, bam, go straight back into stealth, and you can see we have 2 knockouts to be able to put tons of targets to sleep, and hopefully when we get into the combat part it will make a lot more sense. And let's start off in the assassin, where we're going with the hidden blades, where it has 3 hits, each hit dealing 300% weapon damage, a cooldown time of 32 seconds, and a high cost of 65 stamina. And we are taking overkill, which reduces the cooldown by 4 seconds, and we get 3 extra hits, so we've got 6 hits overall. Then we're going down into I Was Never Here, which is a very key passive to this build, which means when you kill an enemy, your stealth cooldown is removed and you can just use it again. Now we're going to go into Throat Cutter, which means you deal 2% extra damage for each 10% missing health the target has. Then we are going into Knockout Bomb, which is again another key spell. Pretty much all of them are key spells, but this especially, where you hurl a grenade and it has a huge area of effect. It doesn't say, but it is large. It lasts 10 seconds. That is how long the enemies are asleep for. It has a 20-second cooldown, a cost of 35 stamina, so nice and low. And we are taking Sabotage, I believe, which means basically they sleep more deeply, meaning when you hit them from the flank you hit even harder, which is exactly what we need for this build. Then we're going into Gaps in the Armor, which means your attacks slip past armor to find the target's hidden vulnerability, so you just get a passive 25% armor penetration, which is amazing. Then we're going to Knife in the Shadows. You are a deadly threat to any enemy that can't see you coming. When you attack from stealth, you automatically critically hit. Again, this is a key passive to the build. Then we're going into Mark of Death, which stores 100% of your damage for 8 seconds, has a cooldown time of 32 seconds and a cost of 10 stamina, and basically if you detonate it early it will deal extra damage. I'm not sure how much the extra damage is, it doesn't say, but the original stored damage is 100% and then it increases, and a lot of videos can show Mark of Death does crazy damage when triggered early. And because of this, we're getting Mark of Doom as well, which means Mark of Death does less damage when it just expires, but it already was only going to do 100%, but much more if you detonate it early, and it is really easy to detonate it at the very last second. So that is the assassin tree done really nice and quickly, and we are going into double daggers, and all we need is flank attack with the upgrade of skirmisher. And the reason we do this is not anything for damage whatsoever, it's just to be able to get back into stealth. If for some reason stealth is just not working, or the mobs bug out and they can suddenly see you in your stealth, you can get out and then get back into stealth. So it's mainly there as a precaution, but can also sometimes be used as an executioner if your Twin Fangs doesn't just quite make it. Then we are going into the Twin Fangs, which deals 2 hits, which both hit for 200% weapon damage, and if you are flanking you do an extra 200% weapon damage, so each hit is 400%, giving you a total of 800% base damage. Then the cooldown timer is 8 seconds and a cost of 50 stamina, and it also is a detonator ability. Then we are getting Ripping Fangs, which gives us a damage bonus of 100% if we are behind them, and it shunders their armor for 8 seconds, which is really helpful for just being able to destroy the enemy as quick as possible. Then we're going into Dance of Death, which helps a ton in this build if you want to make it a bit faster and not stay so slow, which means you regain stamina with every kill, and that stamina restored is 50. Now, I forgot to say this at the start, but this is a level 25 build and level 24 for humans. I forgot to say it, but there you go, that's it. I'm not getting anything in archery because we aren't an archer. And then Sabotage, we're getting Claptraps just to go down. Look like it hurt. Again, we're basically just getting this to go down, but when you get a critical hit, you restore 10 stamina. Then Cheap Shot, our crits leave them sundered, so they are going to basically always be sundered, and the main spell we're getting is Throwing Blades, which hits 4 times, each of them dealing 100% weapon damage, and it lasts 8 seconds. And the 8-second duration is for their armor being sundered. The cooldown time is 12 seconds and a cost of 50 stamina, and we are taking the upgrade Precision Targeting, which means each time blade hits the same target, it will deal 25% extra damage, and that stacks. So your first throwing knife will deal 100%, the next will deal 125, the next will deal 150, and so on and so on. Now, lastly, we are going into the stealth tree, which is the key tree, and obviously we are taking stealth, which means dealing damage out of stealth, we get a 50% damage bonus. It lasts 29 seconds, a cooldown time of 24 seconds, and a cost of 20 stamina. But obviously that cooldown time is irrelevant in this build because it will just disappear. Now we are taking the upgrade Lost in the Shadows, and you may be thinking why? If we are trying to go into stealth, kill the enemy, get back into stealth, would it not be better to get Clinging Shadows? And it's actually not. I have done a lot of testing for this build, as I do for pretty much all my builds. And getting Clinging in the Shadows actually makes this build useless and doesn't work at all, because for those 3 seconds, if you get a kill in that 3 seconds and then you come out of stealth, your stealth cooldown doesn't get reset because you have just come out of stealth, so it just goes on cooldown, but after the enemy is dead. So we take Lost in the Shadows, which also means entering stealth is now instant. So the second we kill an enemy, so we will come out of stealth, instantly kill them, and then instantly go back into stealth, and it is much better to do this. And one good thing is it removes all CC on us, which is great, and you can pass through enemies without being detected, which means we can basically just wander anywhere and get exactly what we want. Then we're getting Easy to Miss, which is pretty much just to get down to Knockout Powder, which is a nice ability in this tree, which I think helps a ton, and I have used it every single time I have tested this build. And so what you do, you throw a handful of dust towards an enemy, and it can have the area effect of 6 meters. It's kind of weird how it stuns enemies nearby, but you kind of want to get them all grouped, and us going in stealth constantly, they will, and then you can throw it and it will put a bunch of them to sleep. It lasts 20 seconds, which is huge compared to the 10 seconds of Knockout Bomb, cooldown time of 20 seconds, and a cost of 35 stamina. Then we're getting Deep Sleep, which means enemies affected by Knockout Powder sleep longer, which is an extra 10 seconds. And when they wake up after being damaged, they won't wake up for 3 seconds, which is exactly what we need, because this can help a ton if we are focusing quite a heavy mob. But the majority of the time we'll be using Knockout Bomb, and Knockout Powder is just to CC everyone else so no one touches us. And then we're getting Mercy Killing, which means when their hearts aren't in the fight, it's almost too easy. So your attacks on sleeping enemies are automatically critical hits, and that's exactly what we need. Now, that is the build. Quite simple, and the combat will show what we are doing. So definitely watch that if you want to use this build. And as I say with every other build, just go flat into every single passive. It will help. It will give you a ton of stats. So guys, let's get straight into the combat here. Now, just before we get into anything, I want to quickly say, go max out on crit damage bonus for your attributes. Now, you can see we've put one target asleep, Twin Fangs this target, and he got absolutely obliterated. And then we could just go straight back into stealth, take out this guy, and then again go straight into stealth. Now that was pretty slow, kill stealth, but later on there is some scenarios where I have to do it really quickly and do go into stealth, and you can see I've CC'd the guard and one of the snipers, and then we're going to go here and absolutely obliterate this sniper here. Go straight into stealth there. That's what you have to do. And then go up behind this guy and throwing blades. Now, if you are throwing blades, make sure you go behind them and being in stealth. And now you can see we're in stealth. There is a ton of mobs, and now we need to just CC them all, put them to sleep. This one didn't, so we just want to Knockout Bomb this guard. Remember, their shields are really freaking annoying, and for some reason those guys actually exploded, so we're just going to take out this guard, and then again we are actually using the flanking attack for the first time there to get into stealth. Then we just used throwing blades here because I thought they were on so low health, and it was basically an instant kill, and you can see it was a risky move, but it paid off. And always drink potions before you go into stealth because they take you out of stealth. Now we're going here to see what is up, to check all the mobs, make sure none of them are broken, knockout bomb, and then take out this character, and then boom, back into stealth instantly. Go up behind this one, throwing blades accidentally goes behind many of them, so I flanking attack, not realizing that I actually killed one. And now the boss is here, and this boss is actually really hard, but I'm going to quickly twin fangs and then straight into stealth. That's what I was talking about, where it really mattered. This is why I'm doing this here, because this rogue boss just goes into stealth, pops out, and he can get you to sleep if you aren't long enough. And you can see this is where the stealth is bugged, because I can be seen, and there you go, the boss comes out, just misses me. The key thing when you are facing a boss like this and you're out of stealth is just run around like mad. And here you go, I tried to Mark of Death him, but he went into stealth. And when going against a boss like this, or if you just get messed up with your flank attack and stealth and you can't do anything, just run around and jump everywhere, honestly, is the best thing you could do. I find him, I see him over here, so I throwing blades, get him perfectly, and now he is dead. Absolutely destroyed. So from that, you can take just CC everyone in stealth, pick your targets well, twin fangs them, and go into stealth instantly. And then when you're against stealth targets, or if you mess up your stealth, jump around like crazy. And if you're against stealth, try and find where they are, not stopping at all, and then try and use throwing blades to get them out. I hope that showed you guys exactly what you needed to know for this build. It is quite an unusual playstyle, but there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.